into the streets here in a minute, and just be mindful of all the pigs that are following us. Say what you want to them, I don't care. Like, they're just wasting their budget. Like, they're just wasting their money on watching, babysitting this crowd, like, for no reason. Their battery just died. Battery's dying. Anyway, yeah, I can go on and on about the police, capitalism. I'm sure we all know.
I'll explain what's going on here in a moment. Don't want to interrupt the speaker.
Has got to go. We need to abolish. We need to start over. They are overfunded. They have no accountability, and the fact that their parents, their grandparents, their great-grandparents, this is so entrenched in racism. Like, this is generational racism in police culture, in the police force. Like, that's why we have to abolish. That's why you can't reform this. We want, the community to be safe. We want there to be some sort of, actions to, for if someone murdered someone.
I'll explain what's going on in a minute.
That murderer. But the police, as they are, they have to be abolished. We have to start over because you can't reform this system that is so entrenched in racism. That's been so entrenched in racism for so many years. The best thing we can do is start over. And it starts with abolition. Yeah. No justice!
No peace!
Abolish!
Police!
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 No justice!
No peace!
Stick to the streets and fuck the police!
No peace! The streets fuck the police! No justice! No peace! Take to the streets and fuck the police! No justice! No peace! Block 12! No justice! No peace! Block 12!
All right, for those of you just tuning in, we are live. We are in Seattle. We are in Occidental Park, which is downtown in Pioneer Square, so just south of the downtown core. This is a protest march that is starting to form up and get started. It hasn't quite started yet.
No good president! Give the land back to the OG
No good cops! No good presidents! Give the land back to the OG residents!
No good presidents!
Back to the OG residents!
There are two protest marches that are going on simultaneously in Seattle today. There's this one in Occidental Park. There is one maybe 8 blocks away, which is at Westlake Center. The one at Westlake Center is the one at Westlake Center was not presented as a Black Bloc event, a no streamer event. There was nothing in there about Block Up, but the people that organize that are aligned to Block, and on May Day, on May 1st, they actually position that publicly as, hey, bring a friend, bring your family, you don't have to wear Block. And that's not what that turned out to be. I'm not slagging that group out, or take it that way. I just don't want the drama. I don't know how else to put it, so I'm just going to put it bluntly. I don't want the drama. So we've come down here with Black Action Coalition and their march here. They march every Saturday. They have marched every Saturday for practically a year at this point. and they are getting ready to march. May 29th is a key date in Seattle history from a year ago. There is a very large police presence all around this area. I had taken some still photos for our news story that we'll be putting on Malcontent News later on tonight, on whatever plays out here. But we've got some pictures of the SPD presence that was here and just a small sliver of it. At one point, I would have estimated that it was almost 4-to-1, 4 police officers for each person that was here for the march. I wouldn't say that's the case now, as more and more people are starting to show up. I'm basically in the middle of what you would call a socially distanced group at this point. So what's going on right now is there's actually more and more people that are trickling into the group. And the other thing that's going on is Seattle has car brigades. A lot of other cities have looked at how Seattle handles things in their car brigades and has tried to mirror how Seattle protects protesters through car brigades. So what's going on right now, car brigade is getting set up, so they'll be marching shortly. Bike brigade is also getting set up. Another thing just to clarify, I am saying essentially a car brigade, not the park brigade. Because there is an organization that is car brigade, but yeah, so comment over on TikTok, a riot. If you think this is a riot, boy, you are setting the bar low. These are just tourists. These are just tourists. They're tourists here for a tour of Occidental Square. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second. I'm adjusting the accoutrements. For those who may not have watched our streams before,
Black life is under attack. What do you do? Stand up like that. Indigenous life is under attack. What do you do? Stand up like that. When an immigrant life is under attack, what do you do? Stand up like that. Indigenous land is under attack. What do you do? Stand up like that. Stand up like that. Stand up like that.
National Lawyers Guild is here. There's at least 4 observers from the National Lawyer Guild here. And again, what we're waiting for is the march is getting ready to get started. We are waiting for the car brigade to get formed up. Car brigade does their own safety briefing, and they're probably doing their safety and comms briefing at this point. Then this march will get started. And again, we are live. We are in Occidental Park in the former anarchist jurisdiction of Seattle, Washington. And again, from time to time, you may be watching on the cameras and going like, why is the camera pointing at the ground? Or why is the camera wiggling? Or why is the camera pointing at some strange thing? There will be times where I will be taking pictures or videos for paying the bills for Malcontent News. And so when that happens, I do generally try to say, hey, I'm paying the bills right now. So just be patient for those 1 or 2 moments. I do try to set up everything so that the main camera that I do still and video work on is pointing in the direction of the 2 phones and the GoPro. So running 4 cameras today. That siren has nothing to do with what's going on here. It is an ambulance, and you'll be able to see that ambulance go by. This is a tactic that is used. And there goes the ambulance. So again, that has nothing to do with anything that's going on here. That's just life in the big city. This is a 1-year anniversary of George Floyd protests. 1 second as I adjust things. May 29 was a significant date for the protest actions here in Seattle. Today is the first day a year ago where Deputy Chief Steve Herjak of the Seattle Police Department, who is responsible for the police response to protests from May 29 to July 1, used massive and excessive force against protesters during that 5-day period. And May 29 is the first day that happened. Now, before you start furiously typing in the comments, that is not true. I base that statement off of, hi, how are you? Good to see you, Becky.
You remember Beatrice?
I do. How are you?
Good to see you.
Glad you're here. We'll talk later.
Yeah, for sure.
So what I was saying, just running into familiar faces. So what I was saying was, before you start blowing up my comments with, well, it's not true, damn it. The Seattle OPA investigated what happened, particularly on June 1, based on the multiple complaints that came in from people. And what they determined is that excessive force was used, and that the officer who ordered that, who at the time was only listed as name employee 1 in that report, should have action taken against them for the use of excessive force, particularly to June 1. Acting Chief Adrian Diaz said, nope, not doing it. It's not fair because that person was just following orders. And so it's not fair to punish someone to do that. Now, of course, I'm paraphrasing the just following orders part, but that's basically what the gist of it was. So earlier this week, it was announced that Acting Chief Steve Herjak has been demoted to captain for his actions from May 29 to June 1, June 1 being the Pink Umbrella Riot. So in Seattle history, this is a very significant day because we have a documentary on you can go to our YouTube channel if you want to see the documentary. To be honest, if you just go into YouTube and do a search for "Can You Hear Us?" right now it's like the 2nd or 3rd thing that appears in search, which I'm like, wow, that's really cool. The algorithm is giving us a lot of love on our documentary. The documentary is 1 hour and 8 minutes long, and it goes over what happens on the 29th and the 30th, and the 1st, and the 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th. And May 29th lit the fuse for ultimately what happened on May 30th, and then ultimately then what happens on June 1. And it's not a big leap to play connect the dots and then go, Steve Herjak bears significant direct responsibility for ultimately the East Precinct being abandoned on January 8th. That isn't to say that he ordered it. That is not what I'm saying. But his actions basically spiraled things out of control to the point that the city and the police could no longer control what was going on. So the reason we're stopping and starting right now is we're just waiting for the car brigade to block intersections. Seattle has had significant problems with people driving through protests intentionally. And so that's why. Anyway, if you're just tuning in and we are live, we are in Seattle. We're in a part of the city that's called Pioneer Square. Pioneer Square is kind of wedged between the downtown business core, Soto, and the International District. There is another protest that is going on, different from this one. That protest is about 8 or 9 blocks from here, over at Westlake Center. You want the Chinese to censor this? Why is TikTok allowing this? You support Chinese censorship with the American flag icon. I love it. Such irony. We don't do cancel culture. It's only liberals. Why is TikTok allowing this to be shown? It should be canceled. It must be weird living in a world where you like the smell of your own farts. Nah, I'm a hypocrite. Down with cancel culture. Cancel this stream. People marching in the street doing their First Amendment rights. Oh my goodness, the horrors. See, there you go.
But we need to change the laws, not just taking the money.
And again, what's going on with the pauses is to allow the car brigade to move up and block the intersection.
This is the Seattle Police Department.
Hey!
Rights to free speech and peaceful assembly are guaranteed by the First
The
Amendment
Auto Club is here.
of the United States Constitution and Article 1, 4, and 5 of the Washington State Constitution. We take this exercise of right very seriously.
Fuck yourself!
We do so in a very
Go to hell! Quit your job!
request. Do not block this intersection. For preventing emergency personnel from the nearby fire station
They're not doing
from
anything.
responding to a medical
They're not fucking
event.
doing
They're also
anything.
blocking metro buses
No, we're not.
and ambulance from transporting people in medical need.
Where's the ambulance?
I'm asking
Which we
the
saw in
Carpenter
video
to do
is
right
not true.
now is to leave, to unblock the intersection, continue marching. We ask
Oh my
that
goodness.
anybody within the group
We
that
now
are
have a
on
very
criminal
large police
acts
presence.
to not do so. If you peacefully march, which you have a right to do, our footprint with you will be minimal. Thank you.
And apparently their LRAD system isn't working very well today. Who?
Everyone hates you!
Fuck the police! Fuck the police! Fuck the police! You are the streets! 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 You are the streets!
Gonna have to trot for a second. You're gonna get some bounce. Nothing I can do about it. Moving up to pay the bills.
Thanks you for your cooperation.
All right. Now just a brief pause for the cause to pay the bills.
Sir, we ask that you do not prevent us from going northbound. If you do so, you could be subject to obstructing. You in the white shirt, black pants, please do not prevent us from continuing forward. Thank you for your cooperation.
It's like RoboCop. Thank you for your cooperation. Comments that make specific threats are reported by our moderators. Actionable threats specific to people that live in the Seattle area are reported to moderators and reported to Chud Watch. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
No cops, no KKK, no fascist USA. No cops, no KKK, no fascist USA. No cops, no KKK, no fascist USA. Land back, land back, land back.
Sorry about that.
Land back,
Having to take some of the trash out.
land back.
Ha ha! Snarky.
Black Lives Matter.
We're walking by City Hall.
Black Lives Matter.
Wonder if Jenny Durkin could explain to us where her texts are. And Mike Solon. Oh, not Mike Solon. Former Police Chief Carmen Best. Current Fire Chief Harold Scoggins. Where are your texts? How come all of your texts disappeared? Mayor Durkin, why did Michelle Chen, your legal counsel, advise people to ignore public information requests for texts and say that we're not going to give you the text, there are no texts? When I mean it was a half-truth. There were no texts because they got deleted.
There were no checks because they never cut them. That was the plan.
Oh, it was the setting on my phone. You know, that excuse has a problem because during the period where all the texts were missing, Mayor Durkin had 3 different managed phones issued to her. So all 3 phones had the same wrong setting. That's what we have to believe. And we have to believe that the text didn't start becoming available until the day after the city of Seattle decided they were going to sweep CHOP. Internal decision came on July 24. Discussion with community leaders happened on June 25. I shouldn't say July 24, June 24. And discussion with community leaders came June 25. And then it was basically said to the world after a failed community meeting on June 26th. And then all of a sudden we have texts after that. But texts before that, all gone. Why'd we fire the black police chief? Carmen Best wasn't fired. Carmen Best quit. If you're going to come in here, at least get your facts right. That's exactly right. And also, Carmen Best texts are missing from the exact same period of time. Also, if you go to YouTube, do a search for Can You Hear Us? Watch our documentary. Carmen Best says on June 11, 2020, the decision to, we'll take a look at Seattle Police while we're talking here. We'll know when people are moving because car brigade will start moving. On June 11, Carmen Best told in an internal recorded message that was released out that the decision to evacuate the East Precinct was a decision made by city leaders. Then, in a podcast last week, she said it was a command decision by the city police department of commanders within the East Precinct, but that she was not part of that decision, which is a far cry from her message on June 11, 2020, of which city leaders caved to public pressure, and I was against this decision. And to this date, we do not know who ordered the evacuation of the East Precinct. Hey, KKK Katie is here. KKK Katie is here. She's protecting that massive forehead of hers. Maybe we'll ask Katie if she's doing better after her concussion.
That's what should have happened. Yeah, it's her car, right?
Katie. Black block Katie. I guess Katie felt to come to the lightweight version, not the one at Westlake.
But you can get my picture all day. I'm
It's interesting, ever since we've been bringing up the fact that Katie got concussed on January 6th when she was in Washington, D.C. with Turning Point USA, per her own admission on Twitter, and was laid out for 2 weeks. And we've been asking, Katie, what happened in Washington, D.C. that ended up with you having a concussion? Katie doesn't want to talk to me anymore. Feeling very unloved.
Silence is violence! Silence is violence! Silence is violence! Silence is violence!
West. We go west. Life is under attack. What do you do? When an indigenous life is under attack, what do you do?
I don't know, really? Destroying the city? What's destroyed?
What do you do?
You shouldn't get your news from Fox News.
What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Whose lives matter?
By the way, if you want to read about the missing texts, you can go to malcontentnews.com. We have an extensive article there about the missing texts of Jenny Durkin, Harold Scoggins, and former police chief Carmen Best. We interviewed Toby Nixon. Toby Nixon, in part, wrote the book on public records in Washington State. And essentially wrote the book.
So fucking messy.
Do you not have like a life of your own? What makes you such a vulture? Endanger people's lives? That's what you do. That's who you are. George Floyd. George Floyd. You're like Nazi Barbie. I'm pretty sure I find you more repulsive than the pigs over there. Why are you so obsessed with that? Like, do you not have a life? Do you have nothing better to do with your life than just go around like a vulture?
Katie, how's that concussion you got in Washington, D.C.? Is that concussion all better? Katie, how did you get that concussion in Washington, D.C.? Katie, you want to talk about your concussion in Washington, D.C.? You were laid up for 2 weeks after you came back from Washington, D.C. with a concussion, by your own admission on your Twitter page. So, Katie, what's up with that? What happened in Washington, D.C.? You claim there was no cell connection and no pictures, but there are thousands of people who had cell connections and pictures. Did you leak data off of your phone, Katie? Do you still have your phone from Washington, D.C.? Or did you destroy that phone?
Total abolition!
Total abolition!
Whose street?
You on the streets!
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 And as we had predicted, the two marches have converged. So there was a second march, which was at Westlake, and those two marches have now converged. Oh, I thought Matthew was gone. Matthew, it's like a blast from the past. When Franklin Graham came to Bellevue and we were streaming and Matthew wasn't there, I was convinced that Matthew had left the area or was no longer being paid by whoever was paying him. And that didn't turn out to be the case, apparently.
Quit your job! Do something that helps people! Fuck you! Quit your job! No one likes you! Go home!
You're gonna lose your jobs.
The worst part of Seattle is SPD! Off the sidewalks and into the streets! Off the sidewalks and into the streets! Off the sidewalks and into the streets!
So one thing you just saw on camera, you saw this officer move her, but Katie Davis Court is perfectly fine to stand in the police line. So there's your bias in policing and who they pick and choose to support. Katie isn't even, you have to really squint to go that Katie is a reporter. You have to squint really hard. So they yanked a protester, a woman, I don't even know how, this guy here was like, hey, get out of the way, but Katie's fine to be right there.
She's pro-police.
But she isn't pro-police because she was in Washington, D.C. on the 6th and came back with a concussion for 2 weeks. She came back with a concussion per her Twitter feed and was laid out for 2 weeks. And she has no pictures. Katie's kind of big mad that I keep bringing up her concussion in Washington, D.C. I mean, you're seeing it. She has no comment. She usually has a lot to say. So there were two separate marches, and what's happened is those two marches have converged into one at this point. I'm now thinking I should have brought poll cam.
Seattle Police Department takes very seriously its responsibility and commitment to support and facilitate the exercise of its rights in a fair and equitable manner without consideration as to the content or political affiliation, with as minimal a footprint as is reasonably necessary to preserve public safety and order. The First Amendment is not absolute.
What are demands? The protester demands are defund SPD 50%. That money to go to black communities. Free all protesters. No new youth jail. The youth jail has been canceled.
Police cars, even public transit.
And Jenny Durkin to resign. Jenny Durkin's the mayor of Seattle. And Jenny Durkin is not going to run, is not running for mayor for re-election. I was actually expecting it to be quieter than this.
Quit your job! 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 Quit your job!
Members of this group decided to go against the flow of traffic.
Oh my goodness. Members of this group have decided to go against the flow of traffic. Hey, mods and admins, I see you're using the regular comms channel. I mean, on a funky scale, it's like from 1 to 10, it's like a 4. But can we stop using the regular comms channel, please? Unless it's something urgent. Thank you. If there's something I need to know, then go ahead and light it up in that comms channel again. Otherwise, if you can go over and move it to the mod and admin chat, it would be appreciated.
Which include ambulances, fire trucks, police cars, and also impedes public transit and the general ordering public.
Right now, SPD has a really big presence, and they're being assertive. I can't use the word aggressive, but they are being very assertive. And that kind of winds things up. Oh, Matthew is gone. It's not Matthew. It's a Matthew replacement. I know that Matthew was accused of some pretty gnarly things. I have never heard, it would be big news, I would think, if Matthew was criminally charged with anything. But there were multiple widespread allegations, and in the interest of journalism, I'm not going to get into it because it's highly speculative.
About the group marching south on Fifth Avenue, approaching Cherry Street, blocking the streets, creating a public safety hazard on this major arterial to state limits of Seattle.
The reason I'm laughing is because we were told, if you have been watching the streams, people were told to get off the sidewalk by the police because it blocks the bike officers on the sidewalk. So, and they've been doing this lately. They're like, don't be in the street, don't be on the sidewalk, don't be in the street, don't be on the sidewalk. We respect your rights to the First Amendment and to protest, but don't be in the streets and don't be on the sidewalks. Well, the group isn't doing anything, so there really is no reason to not be following at a safe distance. Oh, there you go.
The First Amendment is not absolute. We can impact the time, place, and manner.
I don't think anybody is claiming that the First Amendment is absolute.
We ask this people who continues to march against the plan does not conduct any righteous. Any criminal activity will be addressed.
Allows me to breathe.
Well, this is... Huh?
What's going on?
This is Matthew's replacement, apparently. So, because I know Matthew was, if you remember, he wasn't in Bellevue. Mosquito there, so I figured, well, I know there were some allegations about Matthew, and I think you know, there's some in some things that he liked, which would be considered against the law in most, basically everywhere.
Right now, I'm telling you right now, that this isn't the way. This is
our way.
This isn't the way. You're yelling in my face right now, but that's not the way. I'm telling you right now,
All right, I gotta go pay the bills.
We ask that you continue to peacefully protest. Do not cause property damage and do not cause any violence.
What?
We apologize to the community at 5th Avenue and Cherry Street. It was our intention to monitor this group from afar. Unfortunately, we've had some criminal activity. We've had some public safety interests that we were forced to address. Marching the wrong way with traffic is difficult for us. It's difficult for public safety vehicles.
That's awesome. They're complaining about a public thing, and they're blocking the intersection themselves. That was friggin' amazeballs.
That was.
Do not interfere.
So if you didn't see what happened on TikTok, you may not have seen it on it. All the other channels, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, you probably did. There was an individual that wanted to go by, but the Seattle bike officers, as they were literally making the announcement about don't block the traffic,
Do not interfere with the arrest, or you will be
there's
subject
something
to
going
arrest.
on, something going on.
Move away from the officers and you will be subject to arrest. To the vehicles blocking the traffic, you are currently obstructing police vehicles that are picking up the road. The silver vessel, boy William George, 0838, move your vehicle away from the police. Move your vehicle to the left or to the right, or you will be subject to arrest. Silver facade, move your vehicle now.
Seattle police have seriously escalated the situation.
Hey, I need you to move out of our area, okay? So go that way or go that way?
All right, if you...
Great, I'll move you through.
Yep, thank you.
Speedy! He's coming behind you to move out.
Coming behind.
Keep moving back!
Seattle police have really escalated the situation. And this is starting to feel a little bit like May 29 all over again from 2020. Share this stream. Share, like, follow, share this stream. I don't know. And I wouldn't say on the air if I knew their name. So there's been at least one arrest. We don't know what for, but this was a very significant escalation. And this really has the weather doesn't feel like May 29, but boy, this has a real May 29, 2020 feel all over again today. I said it feels a little like May 29 a year ago again.
By the First Amendment of the United States Constitution and Article 145 of the Washington State Constitution. The Seattle Police Department takes seriously its responsibility to significant support and facilitate the exercise of these rights in a fair and equitable manner without consideration as to the content of
Share,
the
like
with
this stream, share this stream. We are live, we are in Seattle, we are downtown, we are at James and Fifth. There was a major escalation by the Seattle Police Department, and there's been at least one arrest that happened. We were right in the thick of it. You can follow our website, malcontentnews.com. Share this stream, like, follow, and share this stream. There is, you know, I had said to the mods and admins to move it over like 2 minutes earlier because it just felt like things were getting ready to go sideways. And I had been saying the police have been escalating, the police have been escalating. And we don't know what the answer, we don't know what caused this. What they're basically announcing is that an individual blocked, they're saying one individual blocked a police officer.
The officers were forced to conduct arrests based on public safety and based on probable cause for criminal activity. We ask that you do not interfere with the officers as they conduct their lawful duties by placing somebody under arrest for criminal conduct.
Go fuck yourself, you so tired. Hey.
All right, so the group is going. We're going to move with the group. What will happen is police will follow in very closely again. Follow, like, share this stream. We're in downtown Seattle, May 29. This was a march for George Floyd. And to commemorate kind of the first day of protests where things started to get spicy a year ago. And now what's happened is Seattle police really started squeezing people in. I had said on my stream a little while ago, asking my mods and admins, because we have a general chat, but then we have a chat that we use when things start getting sideways, because I don't need to see the conversations. I don't want to see the conversation my mods and admins on, hey, should we ban this person? Should we get that person a timeout, etc. And I asked the mods and admins, hey, can you go ahead and, you know, move off of that chat, go over to the group where I don't see this stuff. And then it just blew up about 2 minutes later. Oh, Matthew is here. There's two of them. There is Matthew. Christina D, it's like old times.
He says in the word, neither is there salvation in any other.
So there is a large contingent of SPD officers following the group. There has been nothing, and we have been streaming since the beginning, and now here comes the news helicopters. I can hear them coming in. And we have been streaming since the beginning here.
There's no unbelievers. Are you kidding me? There's no unbelievers here? I doubt that. I completely doubt that.
I'm Jewish, bro. Oh, that's actually a life flight. That's a life flight coming in to Harborview Medical Center. That's not a news helicopter.
That one what? Second try.
Bike Brigade's asking me to stay with the group. Yes, to the community we apologize for any inconvenience by making this announcement at 120 decibels.
There are some in the group that are committing crimes, which has caused us to be a little bit closer.
The crime of walking the wrong way on the street. Literally. You guys saw it. It was on the stream. You heard him say what it was. You heard what the police say what it was. We were right there.
I believe that the coming of Christ is very soon. Believe on Jesus, thou shalt be saved. Here's come to the cause.
And there's the...
The Seattle Police Department takes seriously your right to protest.
I'm not wishing I had earplugs.
That you do so as safe as possible. We are committed to supporting, facilitating the exercise of these rights in a fair and equitable manner. But the Seattle Police Department will not is criminal behavior. As long as criminal behavior is occurring, we will be in close contact with you, and we will seek out individually those committing criminal acts and arrest them. Sir in the blue shirt, right in front of the car, please move away.
Share and follow and like this stream. If you like independent media, if you support independent media, like, follow, and share.
This is the Seattle Police Department. They're committed to everybody exercising.
He doesn't even know what to say. You have to admit, he's like, this is the Seattle Police Department. I really don't know what to say right now. All right, I'm gonna have to trot a little bit. Dr. Mrs. Malcontent, I told you that I thought this was going to be chill. Sorry. It's not chill.
This is the Seattle Police Department. We are taking one person into custody. We ask that you not interfere with this arrest, or you will be subject to arrest for obstructing.
There's another arrest going on.
For those within this protest, we ask that you back up. Feel free to videotape this incident, but do not interfere with the arrest.
You can get angry all you want. you know it too. Yeah, you're that's it.
Like, follow, and share. Share this stream. We are live. We are in Seattle. We are downtown. We are in front of the King County Courthouse. There has been another arrest. The situation is very tense, but for right now, there's been no pepper spray, there's been no blast balls, there's been nothing like that. But this is either the second or third arrest that has happened. So things have definitely heated up.
You would be in Christ or a new creation. For everything old has passed away, behold, all things have become new. And now everything is of God, who has reconciled us unto himself. Thank you for rejoicing with me, brother.
Behind you, behind you.
Hallelujah, Jesus is Lord.
We are live. We are in Seattle. This was a march that was to be in honor of George Floyd.
We support the First Amendment. We support your right.
And the Seattle police have been very aggressive, I would say is the word, at this point. I had said assertive earlier. Forgive me, Harriet.
Governmental interest in public safety. The officers identify criminal conduct. We are obligated to identify, isolate, and arrest those people that are responsible for criminal conduct. It is our intent to allow the peaceful protesters to continually peacefully protest. Please do not interfere with the arrest, as this makes you complicit in the arrest. We ask that you continue to march peacefully. To the community at 4th Avenue and James Street, it was our intent to monitor this group from afar. Unfortunately, due to criminal conduct, we were forced to take action. We are asking this group to continue to march peacefully, march with the flow of traffic so that way no vehicles, to include emergency vehicles, ambulances, fire trucks, police vehicles, are impacted by this as they are responding to emergency calls. This also interferes with public transit and the general motoring public. We ask that you continue to march peacefully. We would like to facilitate a free speech, peaceful movement. Do not interfere with the officers as they are making arrests. Please continue to march peacefully. We ask that you march peacefully. When the officers identify criminal conduct and they establish probable cause for arrest, they are obligated to arrest those people that are conducting that activity. we ask that you move away from the officers as they are making these arrests.
I'm not going to get the shot. And the group's moving. I'm not going to get the shot.
Please continue to march peacefully. The right to free speech and peaceable assembly.
If you're just tuning in, we are live. We are in Seattle.
And Articles 1, 4, and 5 of the Washington State Constitution. The Seattle Police Department takes very seriously
We have not
its
seen
responsibility and commitment to support
any
and facilitate the exercise of these rights in a fair and equitable
property
manner,
destruction,
without consideration
assault,
as to content
nothing.
or political affiliation, with as minimal
We have been
footprint
filming
as
this
reasonably
since
necessary
before
to
it
preserve
started.
public safety and order. We'd like to apologize to the community at 3 Avenue and James Street. It was our intent to monitor this group from
I
afar.
seriously
Unfortunately, we
thought
had criminal
today
conduct within the group.
was going to be chill.
Our goal
I don't
is to
even have a
identify,
set of
isolate, and arrest
bugs.
Unfortunately, some interfered with those arrests. We ask that you do not interfere with the arrests and you continue to march peacefully. It was our intent to monitor this group from afar. Unfortunately, the criminal activity within the group. We ask that if you
Yeah, the criminal activity was literally walking
to not interfere
the wrong way
with the peaceful message
down
of
a
the peaceful
road.
protesters. If you are a peaceful protester, please move away from those that would conduct criminal conduct. Please do not interfere with the opposite. Please continue to march peacefully. Please march with the flow of traffic and should not interfere with emergency vehicles, public transit, or the motoring public.
If you are tuning in, we are live. We are in Seattle. This was a march that was supposed to be to honor George Floyd. And I'm going to tell you what I've witnessed. What I witnessed was a peaceful march. Nobody, no graffiti, no property damage, no assaults, no nothing. And the Seattle police used the fact that the group was marching the wrong way down a one-way street for a short period of time as an excuse to dramatically increase the pressure on the group. As far as we can tell, there have been 2 arrests. We believe there was an initial attempted arrest, but it did not, we could not see anybody getting arrested in that particular incident. And then what happened, there was the one arrest which happened right in front of our cameras.
He opened not his mouth. He opened not his mouth for man. He overcame the world for us, brother. On the 3rd day.
And now SPD is backed off. And just as quickly as they moved in, they've backed off. So what they probably are just doing is going around on another block. They're going to be 1 or 2 blocks up or over, and then they will follow this group parallel on those streets. Mods, admins, I have turned off my safety cam. And no, I don't have earplugs, but man, that last LRAD announcement was just like a pneumatic drill through my head.
He doesn't want you to burn in hell.
You guys should take up a new strategy.
Instead of trying to fight good evil, you understand that these police officers have their strategies and you guys
So again, what's probably happening is the police are going to be 1 or 2 blocks up and or over.
I didn't know they were coming back, so I...
Bear with me here. Apparently a piece of my equipment got bumped and all of that craziness. I got to tighten something up. Sorry about that. Woo.
Not based.
They use pepper spray?
They didn't.
Oh, okay.
See them use it, but they sure wanted to.
So we're basically coming back to where the starting point was in Pioneer Square. And so what I don't know is if this is wrapping up or if this march is going to continue to zigzag. But Seattle police have, just as quickly as they moved in, and of what I observed, antagonized this group, they have moved out.
Don't need to do this, guys. You don't need to do this. Why can't you tolerate a different message? Why can't you tolerate other people with different beliefs? Where's your tolerance? Where's your tolerance? Well, what's wrong with having differing beliefs? I don't understand. Why can't you be tolerant? Why can't you be tolerant? Why can't you be tolerant of us and our differing religious beliefs? Why are you persecuting us for our religion?
People that issue threats in the comments will be reported to the platform that they are on. I do work. I actually run a marketing agency, but thanks for the comment. I'm also like a reporter, like a real reporter. I'm actually out here working as a real reporter. I'm good, thank you.
You do not understand the love of the Savior. You have never experienced the deep and powerful love of Jesus Christ. The deep and powerful love of Jesus. The deep and powerful love of Jesus Christ. He humbled himself, became obedient to death, even
Just
the
want to let
death
you know
of
I'm a
the
fan.
cross.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Highly exalted Jesus and given him the name above every name.
At the name of Jesus, every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. I don't understand why you can't be tolerant of that message.
Yeah, we have basically circled back to where we started at this point.
Chapter 2.
I would.
Philippians chapter 2.
What has historically happened, the group will get back to where they started, and the police will back off at that point. However, on May 1st, that was not the case. On May 1st, the police followed the protesters all the way into Cal Anderson Park. So, no, I can't say that I've met the guy. Oh my God, I love the license plate.
I don't know if you're going to hell. I don't know if you're going to hell. Are you? Are you going to hell?
I wonder if Matthew's recovered
If you
for
believe
being.
on the Lord Jesus, you won't go to hell.
I wonder if Matthew's recovered from getting hit with the stop sign.
Judge a man by his fruits, whether he be good or whether he be evil. And what you're doing right now is evil. Threatening me to pepper spray me, doing the things that you're doing. You're not going to enter into the kingdom of God, brother. I'm sorry to tell you that, brother. I know, and God is your judge. That's why I'm here to exhort you and to warn you as a brother.
Actually,
you need to turn your heart to Him, brother.
I thought Jesus
I'm
was
not
the
here
judge.
to condemn you. I'm here to tell you, brother, that if you don't change your ways, brother, you will perish, brother. Listen, that's what Paul and Peter said. That's what apostles before me said. That's what I'm going to testify to, brother, that Jesus is Lord. He loves you, brother.
Sir, Jesus
I know,
loves
I
you.
see all of them here in the comments, spreading their hate. Goodbye.
Sir, you have already told us, you have already revealed unto us the sin that you're involved in. You revealed it at the market. Why don't you tell them to leave? Look at all these people, the big crowd of people. Why don't you tell the crowd to leave? You're the one signaling us out for our religion.
So, is Tucker Carlson a reporter? We
us
know
out
what
for
the
our
answer to
religion.
that is. We know what your answer is going to be to that.
People always single us out for our religious beliefs. They don't tolerate.
Love you. Nice to see you, Matthew.
You are allowed to come hang out and respect the space that is here for indigenous people. You're allowed to do that. You refuse to do that. You are intolerant.
You were the one that's intolerant, not me.
It is appropriate to be intolerant.
You're the one that is not tolerant. You are not tolerating my beliefs right now. You are not tolerating.
You guys are doing just as bad. You're not in any danger. That's very much hypocrite. Jesus loves you and He died for your sins. He rose again on the
That's my
third day.
feeling. You know what Matthew 7:1 is? Thou shalt not judge, these should be
No,
judged.
He said,
The
judge
same
not
as
that you be not judged. He said, take the plank out of your own eye first before you take the plank out of your brother's. Then you can take the plank out of your brother's. That's what He said. He said we have the power over judgment. Jesus is Lord. You can, brother, but you be judged
Hey,
for your actions, brother. I care for you.
We all made this choice to leave.
That's what I don't want to change.
Hey, if you care for us, you gotta say fuck the police. Matthew 7:1. Oh my God, it's
MAGA's too wimpy to show. They too afraid. Not to mention all the MAGA around here has been arrested because they tried to overthrow the government on January 6th. Know your friggin' history.
It's not a sin to proselytize in the sidewalk.
Why do modern Christians have this martyr complex right now? Like, why do they have almost these fantasies of being victimized? Here's a fun fact. For every 900 people in the United States, there is a Christian church of some denomination. Because there are many Christian denominations. For every 900 people in the United States, there is a Christian church. That is hardly numbers of an oppressed religion and an oppressed people. And things may be wrapping up here. That's exactly right on TikTok. I see that comment. This is BLM. And this protest may be over.
It doesn't get dark until 10. Right?
Oh, well, okay, so they're going to keep, well, okay. They may be taking an extended pause. But you just heard somebody say to me it doesn't dark, which is true, it doesn't get dark until 10 this time of year. So I don't know if there's more direct action planned for tonight. But for now, they are back to where we have started. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the cameras around. I'm going to flip these cameras around. They don't make it easy on TikTok. Stand by, TikTok. All right, so here's the deal. If I'm looking over here, hi, how you doing? Right now what I'm doing is I am talking to you, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. If I look over here, hi, I'm talking to you. And that be talking to TikTok. Got my safety cam. I thought I had turned it off, but I guess I didn't. Now it's off. All right, so let's summarize what happened here. There were 2 marches that were set up here in Seattle. If you see me, it's because I'm talking back and forth to 2 cameras. You're running the red mark on my forehead if you're just coming on. No, it wasn't it. Had a GoPro on my head. Had a GoPro. It's just a mark from the GoPro being up on my head. So if you see me moving back and forth, it's because I'm talking to the 2 different groups. TikTok, you're at a special advantage because I could see your comments. Everybody else, only mods and admins could see your comments. Sorry. So there was a march, 2 different groups. There was one that set up in Occidental Park. That's where we set up over here with Black Action Coalition. There was a second march. That march was over at Westlake, about 9 blocks away. That group was set up. That was set up by a different group. That group typically aligns with more of direct action. They don't go by any particular protest name group. If you're not familiar with Seattle, 10 months ago, you would have had Morning March, ENDD, Everyday March, Black Indigenous Coalition, which became Black Action Coalition. And then you would just go like, oh, this is an ENDD march, or this is an MM march, or this is an EDM march. And that's not the case now. So Black Action Coalition is the only group. So the other group is kind of a non-aligned group. Those 2 groups converged. Of what we saw in our march from here to Occidental, there was nothing. There was no. Someone's been pepper sprayed.
Why?
I don't know. But if they're looking for saline, that tells me. I don't know.
Your meetings are never peaceful. Stop, chill out. Your meetings are never peaceful. All right. Yo, just keep walking.
All right, we're gonna flip the cameras around here.
I'm not the wrong person. You think I'm worried about a spray? You let me hit one of my people on accident, you idiot. Leave me alone.
We'll get the camera. We'll get the camera in focus. There you go.
I want you to chill out. You let me hit the wrong person on accident. Oh, break your fucking neck. I hit him on accident. He's spraying me with mace. He's not supposed to spray me with mace. Baby, you should have shut the fuck up talking to me. Beat his fucking ass, what I'm gonna do. You come do it. Come do it. Come do it then. Please come do it. Come on, man.
All right, so what's going on? One of the medics is treating the individual. As you know, if you were watching, I was getting ready to end the stream. I wasn't looking. I was looking at the cameras, talking to y'all. So I don't know what happened here. I don't know who maced or pepper sprayed who. I don't know why anybody was maced or pepper sprayed, but
There's absolutely no tolerance.
Oh my God, shut up.
Can somebody mace him?
There are a lot of spray people here?
Yeah. Should it come to that?
Yeah, after I kill it. No, I've been sprayed before. Oh yeah, don't use the shirt. I'm a combat Marine. Where's that fucker at? Give it up! You get sprayed next. Let me know what you're gonna fucking do.
Fuck you! Don't litter you, asshole!
Never a dull moment. All right, flip the cameras around again. See if we can do this. All right, let's go back to this. If you're just tuning in, no, I didn't get hit in the head. I've been wearing a GoPro. So the red mark on my forehead's from the GoPro. And if you're watching right now, I'm talking to you, TikTok. If you're looking at me right now, I am talking to Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. So that's why you see my head going back and forth, looking in one camera to the other. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter, unfortunately, I can't see your comments. If you are on TikTok, I can see your comments. All right, so let's go back to what I was saying. Two groups that were marching. One started at Occidental Park in Seattle. That ambulance completely non-related to anything that's going on here. Another group was up at Westlake, about 8 or 9 blocks away. There was a massive police presence around, particularly here at Occidental Park. At one point, I would estimate before they even started marching that the ratio was 4 to 1, 4 police officers for each protester. It was a massive presence, which goes against the statement that the Seattle Police Department made yesterday when they said that they were not adding any additional staff for today. The other thing wasn't a lot of chatter about these marches on either side from any groups. This group were in Occidental Park. This group, the group that was in Occidental Park, started marching there. These two groups converged together. We did not see anything from the groups that marched with Occidental Park. We were with them before they had started marching, and there was nothing. It was just a peaceful march of chanting. The Seattle police moved in when the marches kind of got up to about City Hall. They started to get more assertive, is the word that I used, in their actions and how they were treating the protest march. And then as the two groups converged and started to march uphill and then back around 5th and James, it just blew up. And I could feel it. I've done this now for a year to the day tomorrow, and I could feel it in the air. It was like, I even said, the funky scale in a 1 to 10 is a 4, 5 is a knife edge, and 6 and above is shit's going down. We got to a 6. 7 is when you start getting the pepper spray, and 10 is tear gas and rubber bullets and yada, yada, yada. And we got to a 6. There was no chemical weapons whatsoever. There were a couple of arrests. There was one arrest earlier. We were just right in it, just surrounded by bike officers that came in through the cameras. And that was caught on everything. Apparently, what the police were saying was, now we'll find out, because it'll be up on the SPD blotter when we write our story. When we write our story, we'll find out exactly. But what the word was, what we could hear, what's on camera, if you go back to the stream, the arrests were and it was a massive show of force, and the arrest was for walking the wrong way down the street. And it was just a massive escalation, and they really pushed on the group. There was then a second arrest that happened. This guy came back This guy came back. We're going to go ahead and flip the camera around. If he could see that quick, then I really doubt he was pepper sprayed. Because I've been,
Don't fucking touch me!
because I've been pepper sprayed. Yeah, Christina D needs to be careful. I have a lot of respect, but she does need to be careful. Her
Let him go if he's going, let him go!
For fuck's sake. So what? Christina D can film and I can't. Why is that? Can you explain that to me at least? Why can Christina D film and I can't? You're not going to answer the question. So what? Why aren't you going to answer the question? Why can Christina D film and I can't? Christina D is over there filming right now. Why can't I?
Watch out, y'all. Got a camera coming up on your ass.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Security? I'll take your fucking ass out in a second.
Alright, let's all go back. Stay back, dude.
Hey, can I ask people to slowly back away from this area, please? Can everybody please leave this area? Leave this area. That means you two motherfuckers go.
Everybody back this way. If you're not already back, go back there. Officer Dennis, please, thank you. You tell that nigga to come see me. There you go. All right. I know your face, bitch. What's up?
Let people walk.
I know your face, pussy.
Let people leave.
Hey, how are you? I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Huh? No, you're not interrupting anything. So what's going to happen? This guy was going to walk back again.
I'll break your neck,
So we'll keep rolling for a little bit here. We'll wait and see if this guy leaves. Oh, nothing like a couple of racial slurs to add to the fun today.
Yo, dude, who are you streaming for?
Malcontent News.
What's Malcontent News? I haven't heard of it.
Got a phone? You can go right to our website.
Oh. Excuse me for taking a
No,
minute.
no, that's fine. I think that goes right to our website.
Getting there.
Oh, no. No rush. Oh, I was, okay.
Website. Here we go. I finally got there. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you being out here and protect the people in the bike brigade.
What's your name?
David.
David.
Yeah.
Thanks, David.
People know me as Mal or the Malcontent or Grandpa, or I've always joked if I ever get arrested, I'm going to have like the longest page of aliases when they...
That sounds good. I'll pick Grandpa if you don't mind.
No, I like Grandpa. Actually, people haven't used it in a while, so...
All right, thanks.
Okay. Let's flip the cameras around one more time. Hi, if you're just tuning in, if you've been watching the whole time, you're gonna have to hear the whole thing all over again. Sorry. If I'm looking over here, hello, that has nothing to do with what's happened here. There's a fire station nearby. That's why you're hearing sirens come every now and then. That's a fire truck, and I'm just gonna see if it's gonna come straight through here. Oh, it is. Cool. All right. All right, let's try this one more time. It's a little crazy here. If I'm looking at this screen, I'm talking to Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. If I'm looking at this screen, I'm talking to you, TikTok. Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, I can't see your comments. TikTok, I can see your comments. I'm not gonna go through the whole recap again. I'm trying to get done. The last time we were basically at 5th and James. The Seattle police massively escalated. They really pushed hard on the group. There was a second arrest in front of the King County Courthouse. The arrest in particular at 5th and James was a very aggressive arrest. And again, it appears that the charge for that arrest is going to be Seattle Municipal Code. It's not even going to be an RCW, but it looks like it's going to be Seattle Municipal Code pedestrian obstruction. Which, by the way, will never go to the prosecutors. Will never go to the prosecutors because King County prosecutors have said they're not prosecuting these charges. So it's just a massive waste of police resources. The police were super aggressive and super assertive, and then it was just poof, and they were gone. And the police were gone. When this march got maybe 2-ish blocks from Occidental Park, I can about guarantee you that they are, the police are probably just, a couple of blocks over. One thing that I theorize, I'm not gonna flip the camera around, there's a parking structure. There was a ton of police officers over there at about 2:30 this afternoon. My guess is there's probably officers over in that parking structure. So,
Antifa press.
Prestifa. I haven't been called Prestifa in a long time. I know it really infuriates people when they see that some of the stories that we've done, you can go to malcontentnews.com, have been picked up in the mainstream media stories we've done on racist incidents, in Pasco, Washington, racist incident in Marysville, racist incident in Kirkland. These stories have been picked up and amplified and resulted in some real action happening on things. So I'm winding down the stream at this point because things are done. And at this point, Mr. I'm a Combat Marine, I don't know, maybe it was, I don't know. That's what he said. He's not behaving like one, but anyway, it appears he's left. Right now things are quiet. So with that, what I'm gonna do is TikTok, I'm gonna say goodbye to you first. If you haven't, like, share, follow, subscribe, whatever, really appreciate y'all. And I know there's a ton of you watching right now on TikTok, but bye. All right. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, thank you so much for watching. If you want to support independent media, like, follow, share, subscribe. Throw a little money in the tip jar in Venmo. You become a subscriber over a Patreon. You can go to our website, malcontentnews.com. Easy URL to remember. If you just found this stream, you're like, wow, okay, this is interesting. Really easy URL to remember, malcontentnews.tv. Malcontentnews.tv goes right to our Twitch channel. So if you just can remember malcontentnews.tv, you can always find us. We do 3 shows a week, we're not doing a show this Monday because of Memorial Day. Team's getting a day off. We do 3 shows a week at 8 p.m., Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and we live stream events and protests. The next thing that we are going to live stream will be on Monday, ironically, and that will be in Auburn. We will be at the memorial for Jesse Saray. Jesse Saray was murdered by police officer Jeff Nelson. I'm using the word murder because Jeff Nelson has been charged with second-degree murder in August of 2020, and he is awaiting trial. The 2-year anniversary of Jesse's death will be on May 31st. The vigil is in Auburn. It is up on our Facebook page. We'll be reposting on Facebook and Twitter tonight, tomorrow, and Monday. It's from 6 to 7 p.m. If you can find an hour, please come and hold the Saray family in your hands and your hearts. They need the support. Up until May 27th, Jeff Nelson was the only police officer in the state of Washington charged under I-940. Prior to the passage of I-940, which was passed before George Floyd, before these incidents, Washington was the hardest state in the country to convict a police officer for malfeasance or misconduct in their role of policing, because the legal bar was to prove malice of heart. And if you think about it, it's an impossible standard. How can you prove malice of heart? That gets into the emotional state of someone. And it was an impossible standard. It is still, even with I-940, we are still one of the hardest states in the country to convict a police officer for malfeasance. And to this point, you can look at a state like Texas, which has prosecuted or in the process of prosecuting almost a dozen police officers across the state for various heinous acts in comparison. And so yes, it is actually, believe it or not, in Texas easier to charge and convict a police officer for misconduct than it is in the state of Washington. Surprise. Everybody thinks the state is liberal, Democrat, blue, blue, blue. This state is so not woke that it's, you are so not woke, Seattle. Anybody who thinks that Seattle is woke is lying to themselves. Totally flipping lying to themselves. All right, that's enough. We're gonna shut it down. Love you, malcontents, and we're good. Honey, I'll be home soon. Malcontent out. Hey.